I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. We've been talking here on the network how we believe a charging decision by special counsel Jack Smith against Donald Trump in connection with Jack Smith's criminal investigation into Donald Trump's theft of thousands of government records. That charging decision, we believe, is going to happen fairly soon. We've been talking about a lot of breaking news stories that support that, and we've been talking about some of the bombshell evidence that special counsel Jack Smith has gathered. And one of the most important pieces of information that we've talked about recently is that back in July of 2021 at a meeting that took place in Bedminster, Donald Trump's golf resort in New Jersey, Donald Trump was meeting with two individuals who were ghostwriting a book for Mark Meadows. And in that meeting with those ghostwriters, Donald Trump appeared to have classified documents in his possession at Bedminster, that he was having this conversation with these writers about the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, who Donald Trump detested because General Mark Milley is a very capable, able, and competent general. And Mark Milley had previously criticized Donald Trump for being completely erratic. So at this meeting, Donald Trump was saying, if you only had these classified documents, if I was allowed to show them to you, which I'm not allowed to show them to you because they are classified, you would see that General Mark Milley is not telling you the truth and that I was doing everything right. That meeting was audio recorded by one of Donald Trump's aides, someone by the name of Margot Martin, and she had that recorded on, I believe, her laptop during the meeting. Special counsel Jack Smith found out about that recording from actually another source. And what we are learning now is that special counsel Jack Smith actually sent another subpoena to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's lawyers. This has not been talked about before, but they sent another subpoena to Donald Trump and Trump's lawyers to get this document that Donald Trump was talking about at this July 2021 meeting where Margot Martin recorded it. And this document relates to Iranian weapon systems and potential military plans regarding Iran. I mean, it's the most highly sensitive, top secret information that there is that Trump was apparently just holding at this meeting. So a subpoena was issued by special counsel Jack Smith. It appears earlier in this year, in 2023, to Donald Trump, return that document relating to Iran and also return all of your other documents, communications, notes, emails, anything else relating to General Mark Milley. And as it turns out, Donald Trump's lawyers were able to produce a bunch of other documents and communications in mid-March of 2023, but they could not find the document relating to the Iranian weapon systems and military plans regarding Iran that were discussed, that special counsel Jack Smith, the DOJ, the national security apparatus all know that Trump has this document, yet Donald Trump's lawyers were not able to produce that document. So where is this document about Iranian weapon systems that Donald Trump clearly has, that our security apparatus has flagged as missing, that Donald Trump was talking about at this meeting? From this recent CNN article, here's what we know the subpoena was that was issued by special counsel Jack Smith to Donald Trump earlier in 2023. It's important that we note that date. We're not talking about last year when the search warrant was executed or in 2021. This subpoena was issued in 2023, and Donald Trump's lawyers responded to it in March of 2023, so a few months ago. Prosecutors sought any and all documents and materials related to General Mark Milley, Trump's chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and Iran, including maps or invasion plans, the sources say. A similar subpoena was sent to at least one other attendee of the meeting, another source tells CNN. And so significant developments there. And here's what we're learning that the attorneys were able to turn over. attorneys for Donald Trump turned over material in mid-March of 2023 in response to a federal subpoena related to a classified U.S. military document described by Donald Trump on the tape in 2021, but they were unable to find the document itself. And so, yes, they were able to turn over kind of certain notes and communications and other emails that were relevant. But as it relates to this document, Trump's lawyers said they couldn't find it. Donald Trump wasn't giving it to them. So they said based on their diligent search, they were unable to find it. Just so you remember the way this subpoena went about, Margot Martin, she testified before the grand jury. Before Margot Martin testified, Special Counsel Jack Smith was aware of this recording and got this recording through another source, confirmed it with Margot Martin, got the audio recording from her laptop and from her computing systems, and then issued the subpoena. And then in March, Donald Trump's lawyers responded. So Donald Trump held this propaganda event on the Fox Propaganda Network, and he was asked about, all of this by Hannity, whether or not he had these Iranian documents, these weapon systems documents that are highly classified by our military. And Donald Trump's response was, I don't know anything about it, but everything I did was right. Like, just a completely deranged response, just so you remember. Play this clip.
Special counsel that's appointed, and news broke yesterday that there might be a tape recording that, quote, where you acknowledge that you understood that these were classified documents. First of all, do you know who this call may be with? Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is this: everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. Biden has 1,850 boxes with a lot of classified stuff that he's not supposed to have. In his case, I have the right to declassify as president.
And then in addition to that, one of Donald Trump's remaining lawyers, a lot of Donald Trump's lawyers at this point have resigned because they realize that MAGA stands for Make Attorneys Get Attorneys, and they've either resigned or can't work on the case because they are now witnesses to crimes. But Jim Trusty, who is still one of Donald Trump's lawyers, went on CNN, spoke to Caitlin Collins, and again, just completely lied and basically said Donald Trump has the absolute right to take whatever he wants to take, and he can telepathically declassify things. Here, play this clip.
You referenced the fact that Trump was still president when he left office. He left Washington, I think he had about an hour left in his presidency. Are you saying that it was in that hour that he declassified the documents that were taken with him?
No, your timing is a little bit off. He landed in Mar-a-Lago and was at his residence while still president. It was a little bit after that Biden was sworn in. So he had the absolute authority to take every one of those documents, any document he wants, with him when he left the White House. What happens throughout history, through modern history, is that if you take documents and archives thinks they're entitled to it, they start negotiating. And that's what he did. He was telling them things like, hey, just ask if you want anything more. He gave them 15 boxes in January of 2022.
Well, after some back and forth, but just to be clear, you're making the argument right now that by the time he was on the ground in Florida, after he left Washington, that is when he declassified all of these documents that he took with him.
No. I'm saying that documents he brought with him are effectively declassified and personalized under the Presidential Record Act. We're talking about constitutional authority under the Constitution to declassify. If he wants to take stuff with him and say, anything I take with me is declassified, if he wants to take stuff and say, anything I read at night is declassified, that was absolutely his right as president. And the Presidential Records Act makes it clear that we don't even care about classified information. It is a statutory scheme that deals with presidential or personal only.
Jim, if this was declassified, then why are we told that he's on this tape basically telling the people in the room that he can't share it with them?
You are told by DOJ or FBI or whoever filtered that to you anything they can think of to justify a persecution.
But Jim,
Caitlin, I'm telling you, they had rumors out yesterday. There's going to be one every day.
And everything Jim Trusty says there is utterly false, just so you know. Everything that Donald Trump and Jim Trusty say the Presidential Records Act state, it doesn't. Also, this whole idea of declassification is a bit of a red herring in general, because all of the crimes Donald Trump is being investigated for relating to his theft of documents, the classification status actually doesn't matter to prove the elements of the crime. The violation of the Espionage Act, concealment and mutilation of government records, and obstruction of justice, by the way, all which carry with it significant prison sentences. I mean, obstruction of justice is a 20-year sentence. None of those things have to deal with whether the documents were classified or declassified at all. So even talking about the declassification status is again, kind of irrelevant here. And everything that Donald Trump's lawyer said there also is just completely and utterly false. But I think what we see here is that special counsel Jack Smith has really laser focused on what documents are missing, where those documents are. If those documents are missing, they could form the basis of further obstruction of justice charges against Donald Trump. Again, to have a document regarding Iranian weapon systems that are just missing in response to this subpoena shows you the stakes here that we're dealing with. Shows you simply how dangerous Donald Trump is, but also shows you the diligence in special counsel Jack Smith's investigation, that they are able to focus on very specific sets of documents and identifying that those documents which were taken by Trump no longer exist, have disappeared, and clearly may still be being hoarded by Donald Trump at Bedminster and elsewhere. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about this missing document, as well as potentially other subpoenas that were issued by special counsel Jack Smith. But knowing that special counsel Jack Smith issued all these other subpoenas, I think is a significant update in this investigation. I expect charging decisions to be announced soon also. We'll keep you posted when we learn about them. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch and also wherever you get audio podcasts. Please subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. All right, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel and have a great day.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.